You know how a lot of times people say think big? I should have been thinking smaller because this whole time I was asking for an asteroid when it seems like a microbe just might be doing the trick.
Give me your ways. You don't know what to do with it. Give me your wig.
Hopefully you're watching this on Wednesday. If YouTube is not playing around, you're definitely watching this on Wednesday and not Thursday. If you are a patron, because they get the videos first all the time. Make sure that you check out patreon.com/AdrianExpression because I definitely just uploaded on Tuesday another podcast episode entitled Tap Dancing for Joe. That's what your political faves are doing out here, tap dancing for Joe Biden. So I go more in depth with all of that and all these endorsements that are just coming out of the woodwork. And of course, I talk about all the topics that the patrons want me to discuss on that episode. So make sure that you check out patreon.com/AdrianExpression. Let me know what you think. Let's get into some of the news that is going on this week. What's going on? So DaBaby. Sis, TMZ just broke a story, girl. Now, I'm not really checking for TMZ like that, but I could not ignore this information, sis. It's a lot of developments that are coming out of this. So Tyranisha Laws, I think is her name, the woman who DaBaby ended up slapping at that show I talked about last video. So she was on TMZ. Let me tell you something. Tyranisha is going to get her bag, if not anything else. Tyranisha said, I'm going to get up here. She was over here like tearing up and stuff. And honestly, when I listened to what actually happened, it's really crazy. So Tyranisha she got hit. She got hit by DaBaby, but she was not the one who was holding the phone in his face and who bopped him in the face with the phone. It was the girl who was standing next to her. So she said one moment she sees this girl with her phone in DaBaby's face, and then the next moment she's ended up getting slapped and falling all over the place. She said she didn't think his apology was sincere because apparently he was up there on social media making fun of the whole incident. She said her head was hurting really bad. You know, she went to the hospital, all right? And the doctor diagnosed her with a contusion. Yes, ma'am. She came out there with a proper medical terminology for you hoes, just in case you're wondering, making sure the bag is secure. Then she went over to the pain and suffering, to the emotional suffering, to make sure that those bases were covered as well. She said that she was just so embarrassed. People were coming to her job saying, oh yeah, that's you the girl that DaBaby hit, harassing her online. She said her daughter had to wake up all in the middle of the night while she is making phone calls to her lawyers. It's just all around crazy. Girl, DaBaby, I would suggest that he just go on and cut that check and make this process as simple as possible because Tyranisha is going after them coins, okay? And rightfully so. She was not even the one who had her phone all in your face. And that's why I'm just like, the responses that you're giving DaBaby to these people need to be congruent with what they actually did. Because if you just shove the phone out of your face, instead of Hulk smashing this person, there wouldn't be this problem. You see what I'm saying? So, I don't know. Good luck to sis. I hope she gets as much coin as she can. Go on and contact your financial institution, DaBaby, and cut that check. Just cut it. So, what did y'all think of that Captain Hook music video? From how hard Captain Hook went, I was expecting something a little bit different. It's sitting right there. It's sitting right there. The treatment for this music video. Megan Thee Stallion always talking about how she riding the boat. And then the song is Captain Hook. It's right there. It's like, give sis a one patch like she's Nick Fury, have her sitting up on some cute sailboat, and she Captain Hook. Like, it's like, I don't know, give sis some choreography. It was cute though. She was in the studio having fun, partying. She has had cool treatments for other videos, but for Captain Hook, I was like, girl. The treatment for this video was right there. It was right there. But I don't know, tell me what y'all thought about it. It dropped. I was just like, oh man, y'all need to put me in charge of creative. So there are a few things happening in the world of nerdiness, all right? Westworld season 3 is coming back. And this is, if you haven't heard of Westworld, it's one of them shows. It's slow in the beginning because it's world building, but you need to if you're interested in all types of like the Matrix type of tease or like Ex Machina or robots versus humans, but in a realistic way, Westworld is definitely your girl. Either way, I watched the first 2 seasons and I am very excited. It's coming back on March 15th. Gonna get my life. Miss Dolores is going to be shooting you girls up. Miss Maeve is gonna be trying to prevent y'all girls from getting shot up, at the same time making sure that she's not one to be played with. It's really that simple. I don't know what Ford is doing. Bernard is out here looking silly like he always do. It's just, I cannot wait to see see it. In other HBO news, Euphoria, the Twitter account for Euphoria tweeted this out. Fez is sitting right next to our good sis Rue. That means that they are getting ready. They're over there reading the scripts for the second season. I'm very, very excited. Nate Jacobs says, you gonna receive these hands if you think that you can continue to be a bully. I'm gonna steal Jules' knife and do some things that need to be done to your ass if you don't get your life together, if you don't get yourself together. Your dad is a piece of shit. I'm so sorry, girl, but you do not need to be coming to school beating people up. That's that. Rue, your ass needs to apologize to Fez. I don't care how many times it takes. He did not deserve what your ass did, even though that was amazing acting, Zendaya. Like, I'm just ready. I'm ready for this. It's crazy that we're getting a season 2 because after the season 1 finale, everyone's like, oh my gosh, is Rue dead because of the music video and how she fell? You know, that's what you call the flavor, and I'm ready to taste it. Speaking of something else that tastes, it tastes good to me. I don't know about you, but New Mutants. I saw a trailer before for this shit, but you know, they released another one, getting us all excited for the release date, which is April 3rd. I like the feel of this movie already. I like how it's not going to be a typical Marvel film. It's looking like it's giving us like pretty gritty, pretty intense type of suspense, horror sides of things with a touch of sci-fi as I like it. The girls are trapped in some type of institution and they're gonna have to fight their way out or something like that. These powers look sickening from every single one of the members. We already know our good sis Arya from Game of Thrones is in the movie, so if they were expecting for me to give them their coin just because the New Mutants movie is coming out, they're expecting me to go to the theaters and watch this shit, they expect it right. So I saw John Boyega talking about this and I thought it was really cool. This is coming from Variety. John Boyega is partnering with Netflix through his Upper Room Productions company to develop non-English language films centered on West and East Africa. The company said on Tuesday that the indie production house founded by the British Nigerian will develop film projects based on stories, cast, characters, crew, literary properties, mythology, screenplays, and or other elements in or around African countries. I thought this was super awesome, especially when they got to the mythology part, because I feel like a lot of us, or the general public as a whole, has a really strong grasp on like Greek mythology, but we don't know a lot about African mythology and the different cultures that have contributed to African mythology, and just like how they incorporate all the Greek mythology in so many movies and in so much of everyday culture. It's gonna be so cool to explore how that works and what that means when it comes to African mythology and the types of stories they can create and movies they can create. So I am very excited about that specifically. John Boyega said, I am thrilled to partner with Netflix to develop a slate of non-English language feature films focused on African stories, and my team and I are excited to develop original material. We are proud to grow this arm of our business with a company that shares our vision. So really awesome. While y'all girls are over here dragging him for him rightfully roasting Star Wars, he's on to bigger and better things. This of course lines up with the fact that Netflix is trying to reach out and do African based content. I'm sure the success of Parasite also lends itself to the fact that this is going to be non-English language movies and stuff. So very cool move. I think that was a very smart decision for John to make. And since I'm talking about smart decisions, there is a huge lack of smart decision making when it comes to the administration, when it comes to the White House, when dealing with the coronavirus. Listen to this. This is coming from NBC. The attending physician of the U.S. Congress and Supreme Court, Dr. Brian Moynihan, briefed Senate staff yesterday in a closed-door meeting that he expects anywhere from 70 up to 150 million people to contract the coronavirus. Now, the first reaction that some people made to this revelation was like, oh, well, girl, y'all are doing too much. It's a 2% mortality rate, and so we just need to go in and relax. So let me tell you something. The mortality rate is 2%. That's what y'all are telling me. So at the low estimate, based off of what this doctor is saying, 70 million, 2% of 70 million, that's 1,400,000. Okay. And then at the high estimate of 150 million people possibly being infected and mortality rate is 2%, that's 3 million people dead. And keep in mind that the population of the US is over 300 million. So if you're talking about an estimate, you know, around the figure of 150 million, that's like half the goddamn country. So there have been a lot of reactions to this. I mean, Harvard classes were just canceled. I think it was Harvard that also told their students that they got to pack their shit and get the fuck up out the dorms. I was like, that is some ridiculous, nobody's thinking anything through. They don't even think about the fact that a lot of students may need that housing at that particular time. Maybe students don't have nowhere else to go. Like, it's just a lot of logistical failures I see happening or about to happen. A whole bunch of festivals and shit were canceled, but people are also trying to benefit from it, I'll say. I even talked about this whole New York State sponsored hand sanitizer that's been created by the prisoners in New York for like 65 cents an hour. I went more in depth on that on my podcast at patreon.com/AdrianExpression. I thought that shit was actually insane and disgusting. I'm sure this will definitely give you guys a laugh. And y'all, let's that girl come to her and let's talk about and let's sort out this coronavirus stress that you have, sis. And I'm just like, she's gonna speak it in the hole, she's gonna throw the virus in the hole. I don't know what sis is gonna do, but I will say that I like her jacket. I will say that that looks like something that I would wear. The cute little fur looking things look real nice on the good sis. But as for tuning into this live stream, I think I'm gonna pass on that one. You know, I just want to show you the multitudes of different reactions when it comes to this coronavirus. This is Naomi Campbell. Naomi said, y'all girls made fun of me for using Dettol and bleach wipes and shit for wiping down my airline seats and all that, but I'm not going to catch nobody's virus, and that's just on period. She's walking around here like she's about to do some type of, I don't know, like nuclear leak investigation, looking like she's about to go into the aftermath of an atomic blast. It's giving me hazmat realness, and that's what she needs to go on the runway as, hazmat realness, and just hilarious. I thought that was hilarious, and I'm so mad that she looks good. She still looks good. Look at that face still be. One more reaction I thought was funny, then we'll move on from this really depressing topic, is the fact that the MTA has announced that they're going to begin cleaning the subways at least 2 times a day. And I'm wondering, I mean, from getting people insurance and paid sick leave, that makes sense. But yeah, I don't know if they tried to act like they actually cleaned the subways or cleaned it once a day. Now we're moving it to twice a day. Sis, I've been to New York many times and I was born there, sis. Let's not act like y'all are doing any type of sanitation down there. And them rat nightclubs, them rat bars that y'all call subways. We really hate to see that. Last and definitely least, I just wanted to mention that Harvey Weinstein has been sentenced to 23 years behind bars in New York for all them damn sexual allegations and sexual charges that were brought up against him. Now, it was really interesting because the lawyers were just like, oh my God, no ma'am, if Harvey Weinstein gets more than 5 years in prison, he might die in prison. He might die in prison. They took that to the judge and they thought that shit was gonna fly. The judge looked at their ass and said, all right, girl, 23 years next. We ain't done yet. We ain't done yet because he has to go to California. He's in the process of being extradited. They're gonna take his ass to California so that he can face the charges that have been levied against him over there. So it's just like, damn, from one coast to the other, you getting dragged. I mean, from sea to shining sea. America the beautiful. Sometimes she gets it right. So now I wonder what the Bill Cosby apologists, I wonder what the R. Kelly apologists are going to use, what excuse they're going to use now, because the whole time they were saying, oh my God, if Harvey Weinstein can get away with it. I mean, even though they weren't even paying attention to the fact that he was, you know, on trial for it, whatever. If Harvey Weinstein ain't been charged yet, you need to free Bill Cosby, free R. Kelly. It's just like, well, y'all are really just like, white men can be abusive, so black men should be able to be abusive too. Get away from me with that destructive, terrifying, revealing rhetoric, okay? On that note, I want to thank you all so much for watching. Make sure that you check out my Patreon, as usual, at patreon.com/AdrianExpression. I love you all so much, and unlike Harvey Weinstein's lawyers, make sure that you have a good goddamn evening.